But the important thing is we have Gandhiji as our icon, as an international company. And none of the 7 passports are Indian. So that is the global phenomenon that I want to present to you today. That we can do what the West does. I believe the theme of the conference is global leadership. India can do it. I say to you, yes, not only can we do it, but we can do it better. Now, to relate to what we can do, I think we need to first look back and see what India has done. It's not as if we have to reinvent the wheel, nor do we need to reinvent who we are. For we have a great heritage that has brought us to this point, a richness, a tradition that we should avail of. If you attain or attend MBA programs or anywhere around the world, they quote you Sansa, The Art of War. And they sit down and study it as if it is an annal of modern, this annal of ancient warfare is an annal of modern, business corporate tactics. We have Arthashastra by Chanakya. We have texts that we do not even begin to know ourselves. But we go out to master Sansa instead. I think our strengths lie within us. And we need to explore these strengths a lot more. Then we can take India to the world. Before India can actually do it, we have to be first proud of what India is today. Not just the numbers and the figures, but I'm talking in terms of the parameters of who we are, what we have done. Then we can look at what we can do. So, my experience, and I apologize if this offends some people in the audience, is that whenever I've met Indians across the world, in different conferences or meetings or negotiations and so on, we tend to conform. We in fact tend to be almost apologetic for being who we are. And that's something that we need to get by, we need to get past. I mean, looking at us today and at the attire that we wear right now, I could be addressing a convention in Fleet Street or in Washington, because the attire would be no different. Except for a few ladies in the audience. How can you tell we are in India? We should be proud of who we are. If you go to Dubai, the Arabs do not make any excuses for what they wear. They wear a dish dash and come into the meetings, and this is the way we are. Accept us as who we are. And there should be absolutely no qualms of us doing the same thing. Now, again, let's talk about the Japanese. They began by emulating. They began by first bringing in technology from the West, recreating it, copying it, and doing initially quite a bad job, but over a period of 2 decades, they caught up. Today, Japan leads the corporate world. And despite being almost annihilated after World War II, they have grown from nothing, from a country with 0 GDP. If you take pictures of Nagasaki and Hiroshima, in fact, you could say the same of Germany. It was bombed to rubble. They had nothing to start from. The only thing that virtually kept them together was essentially a spirit. In German, it would be called comitatus, the Latin word derived from the Celtic origin, which refers to their code of honor, where they believed in each other. In Japanese would be the code of the samurai. But they went back to these strengths. It's practiced today in corporate Germany, in corporate Japan, In fact, we, as foreigners intending to do business with Japanese companies, have to actually acquire. We have to know how much to bend, how much to bow, when to give the card, how to give a card. We have to adapt, adjust, and accommodate to this etiquette. We have to understand them. We have to make that step forward. They do not need to conform, neither do we. If you go into China, even if the Chinese businessman sitting across the table speaks good English, he's going to have a translator next to him, because he's going to talk to you in Mandarin. And that's his advantage. He says to you, you are in the Middle Kingdom, Chungko. He refers to China as the Middle Kingdom because it's in between heaven and earth. Are you with me? So the rest of us are down here, they are up there. Now you are privileged to come to China to do business with us, so hey, speak Mandarin or go home. But then on the other hand, we have also grown into becoming virtually experts in analysis and criticism. Now, criticism is not a bad thing within its place. If it leads to solutions, if it is the first part of handling a solution, then a criticism, if done neutrally, if done with balance, is a powerful tool. But we have made it into an art form. We basically sit down and we know how to criticize, we know how to do it so well that so much time and energy is expounded into it. That same time and energy can be utilized to turn companies around, to find solutions and better solutions, to be innovators. We have basically learned some of the, you might refer to the bad habits of the West, acquired them, mastered them, without going deeper to the next level of understanding what is it that makes one really successful. It is not about remanufacturing. China chose a different path. It may not be the path that India needs to choose. Half the things that are sold across the planet today is sold in confidence in the product or the service. They're products that are essentially made to suit the markets, and they're products to which the market itself suits itself. A classic example in point would be the iPod. Apple's great innovator, a great innovation of this millennium. The iPod is today the fastest growing industry by itself. It has spawned many subsidiary industries all over the place. The hippest thing today is to own one. What is it? In essence, it's a little device that records music. You can carry your entire CD collection in a little matchbox. Are you with me? But what is special about the iPod? It was not the first of its type out in the market. The technology was not original or invented by Apple. So what made iPod as successful as it is? In essence, iPod made itself the center of attraction. It's the hype leading up to it. And that, in essence, is something we have to learn to master. To get attention to a product so much so people would learn to change their lifestyles to suit it, as opposed to finding products that fit into the niche of the market. This requires just that little bit more innovation, that little bit more confidence and belief that we can do this. They created the distribution systems. They put the iPod right out into your faces. It was everywhere, and it became hip to do it. A generation before that, you had the Discman, and before that, you had the Walkman. And if you go beyond that, all the way back to you come up with the LPs, the EPs. They were created, and the market adjusted according to that.